the start, John, which really did put a big thorn in their side.
See if that is going to be a repeat performance this time around, or if Footballers Chaos are going somewhere else. They're back to Bantai on the south side for Footballers Chaos, near to Virtus Pro on that split cave drop around Camp Charlie as well. Team Spirit, yeah, they're going to be uncontested on boot camp again, but expect to see 3D Max moving down south quite quickly, especially if the circle goes on down there as well.
Again, some of our circles been very cruel this finals, which has led to numerous times we've had interesting finishes in terms of who comes out on top and who doesn't. And honestly, in terms of the point scoring potential from so many different squads, Team Spirit drops Kitsune up towards that top side to scout out. Effects already in Confluence compound. Circles should be popping shortly. But yeah, most teams are pretty happy in reasonable positions around the map after that one, but it is a hard shift up towards that north side, John, with Brute Force being within the center of that circle. Goodness me.
That is pretty nasty for a lot of teams to be shunting their way on up there. Some important features of this circle, obviously Paradise Resort in the center of that mainland island. It's going to be a little bit to the southeast of this. S2G currently hold it, but it can contain kind of up to 3 teams if they're playing on opposing corners of it. There's sort of 3 positions that you can go for. That house out on the northwest, almost sort of its own part of a compound that can be occupied, but at the moment only S2G in there. Obviously the split that 3D Max hold, I think that they're going to have to recondense, choose one of those compounds here on that northwestern side, and then up towards Lumberyard, Cow and Tatmock. That is the sort of big battleground open area that I think we're going to see a lot of bloodshed happen in that part of the map. Some mad crashes, some bridges being camped. I think we're going to see it all.
The thing is, John, is it would be wild and very, very difficult to knock Brute Force out of the top 5 at this point, right? I think we can all agree on that. It would take some serious shenanigans in terms of the leaderboards and require multiple teams to get massive games at several times. So for Brute Force, yeah, right now they're fairly safe. But with this game, they could absolutely confirm their position over towards the group stage if they can get a strong one from up in Cow. I think they know that this is one of their better circles that they play within. They're strong on that Cow position. When they move down towards that south side, and they can play off the walls, take shots towards teams as they come in. So yeah, this might just be the confirmation of both Brute Force's first place as well as Brute Force's confirmation to EWC. Rob's only player in here. They'll find him without fall, without casualty. An easy first elimination for Team Spirit as they shunt up towards that north side almost instantaneously. This is sort of interesting as well, just because it's usually 3D Max who makes these kind of problems cause for Team Spirit.
A cruel symmetry in the rotations. 3D Max have been given gyp to Team Spirit for quite a while now, and you're right, it's good to see it given back their way, but it's unfortunate for 3D Max. However, their matches so far at the start of today have not been up to snuff, and on 83 points, I think they're probably now another team that can start to be counted out for those top 5 positions, although it's in 6th place right now that the cutoff is for the survival stages of the next tournament, but it's starting to look a little long in the tooth for the time that they've got remaining. S2G in 98 points, that is the cutoff currently. They're on 83, so 16 points behind, but still, that's quite a lot of points they just haven't been earning over these last few matches.
Yeah, absolutely. It needs to be pumped back up again because they had that nice circles over in PMPL EUs in the past on multiple different rosters. Yeah, losing a player straight away, and it feels like Team Spirit is sort of moving this into first gear now. Moving it out from first gear into fifth gear for themselves, just because that is a new play that we've not seen before from them. And I don't think it's something 3D Max expected either. They were like, right, shall we go mess with Team Spirit soon? But Team Spirit immediately regrouped, flew up towards that north side. Very much a targeted play, and it gives them a strong position in the circle almost immediately from bootcamp, which is great to see.
Moneymakers getting a little slice of the valley. This is such a dangerous valley to be playing in a lot of scenarios, but this time around it's just going to give them cover on both sides as they rotate up north. They're going to be worried about players in Hudson, are the Moneymakers, but it's the bridge that they really need to be worried about. On the other side of it, it's power. Really scouting this one out, and they're actually, okay, maybe they go for a swim and go around on the northern shore. I mean, I don't dislike it, and this is currently in the next circle.
Yeah, play hard in here. This is not the worst spot to go for. Wait for teams to move off. A swim over towards the north side of the map is a little bit difficult. I think most teams understand that they need to have outposts over towards the coast so they don't get backstabbed by something like that. Even a long rotation via boat is something that's acceptable towards this circle. Virtus Pro, Footballers Chaos, and Nick McGallity all still directly on the south side of the map right now, like as far as it goes. Looking to potentially move at some point.
I mean,
hopefully.
Nick McGalaxy loved this, right? This is exactly how they like to play this kind of a map, right? They on Sanhok, they stay away as far as they can and then try and come in late. I expect it from Nick McGalaxy, but Footballers Chaos and Virtus Pro, I expect better from you guys. Come on, let's get on the road. Let's get gone.
Yeah, getting moving is absolutely what's required. So 13th place up to 4th place at the moment. That is, 15 points, roughly? A 15-point differential between 13th and 4th. So still very possible to get in towards that top 5. It's maintaining that top 5 position, which is the difficulty for a lot of teams at the moment, purely because if 13th place can get into top 5, practically anyone can off a good game. Everyone's in range to shoot up.
Circle 2 popping there. It goes over to the mainland, so Hudson now does need to get deserted by Moneymakers, and we're not keeping too much water in here, so we're getting a little bit more normal on these circles. Team Spirit actually going all the way up to Tatmok. Brute Force. I'm interested by their decision to go up along that coast, but they have got a clear path back over towards Cow, and they're going to take it.
The thing is that no one really has challenged them on their Cow position, and they've made multiple aggressive rotations out of Cow, only to return there later. This time around, though, Twisted Minds are actually already in Cow, waiting for them. So Brute Force slightly pushed out. Team Spirit also made a rotate immediately at this point too, just because they know that they've been held out on that rotation towards stage 4. Good start to this fight coming through from IWNRX, and this is really bad news for 3D Max now.
Oh dear, Victor forced out by the Molotov, can't quite get anything done, and 3D Max 0 limbs. The nails in their coffin. Despite lacking a complete finality, certainly a death knell for them. And IWNRX now have this compound on the junction. The high ground that sits on that crag, pretty dangerous for their position, but getting to that position currently, pretty tricky, given that Team Spirit hold across the way, given that so many teams are holding out around them. It's unlikely that a team's going to play up onto that ridgeline for quite a while until it closes further.
Yeah, I think some teams still have a lot of time to make this work. RCB down towards the southwest, need to move in, as do S2G. Pleased with Twisted Minds rotation as well as Team Spirit. Alongside IWNRX, quite honestly, I think all teams that have read into this Sandhawk have been like, look, there's multiple times we've made mistakes before, we haven't been able to get in. This time around, let's just take a very bold and aggressive approach into the circle. And this sort of has cut Brute Force out a little bit. Now, I personally pitting Twisted Minds up against Brute Force, I would put my money on Brute Force in that engagement. But it's a question of whether they can make those moves without being shot at, because they still have to be on the outside edge.
Shots from Hamzy. Behind the roof. You just don't expect it. He pops up. Immediately, Lux is flushed out. Fireflux just falling in the face of S2G here. S2G right now in the survival space qualification spot. Hamzy wants to add to that tally, wants to try and leapfrog over Team Spirit. Soulcake trying to prevent that from happening, but Ketch is down. Soulcake and Soulless now. Two players who are left. A nade from Hamzy. He knows Soulcake's there, but it's not going to tag.
Soulless remaining. This is a difficult position to play as well. I mean, there's so many sidelines onto this spot as you try and escape. Good shots from Hamzy G with the P90, already finding it. And Soulless realizes he's just got to get gone here. Next circle about to pop on your screens. See where this one heads. I mean, I think IWNRX, Twisted Minds, Team Spirit all have some good spots here, but IWNRX gets themselves a very nice central position here. Again, they're not that far out from getting up towards the top position at IWNRX. It would be a shame not to see them go through to EWC, considering I would still say they're one of our best teams in the lobby. Top two.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because, I mean, obviously Brute Force right now, a complete breakout, but we know that they can have their dips. But we know that IWNRX similarly can do that as well. Twisted Mind's going to try and force them into a dip right now. Never alone. Spotted by Zed Wolf, ever vigilant on the high ground there on that top of the roof. Twisted Minds faltering on their approach here. Jafar down is just Dammy. Left remaining, left standing for Twisted Minds. As his teammates getting swept under the rug. Fireflux are eliminated from Paradise Resort. They tried to leave, but didn't get too far. Dammy's getting the res, but there's a nade in through the door. That seals the deal. A nice start to the hold for IWNRX, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty more.
I mean, 7 eliminations already for them at this early in the game. I mean, 52 players have gone down, and it looks like IWNRX has practically picked up half of them, if not more. And that sits them on 100 points, right? They were tied with Team Spirit now at the start of the game. That's a really, really nice display of performance there from IWNRX. Great hold as well. They set that one up perfectly for teams who wanted to immediately crash onto that position and try and pick up some pace of their own.
I think the P90 is probably one of my favourite gun sounds in the game right now.
Oh, yes.
It's so satisfying.
Satisfying is the best way to describe it. Yeah, 100%. Moneymakers, though, this is a tough push for them. This is a very tough push for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Moneymakers go down in this game with 0 points accrued.
They've been biding their time for quite a while, though. I mean, they've played from Hartin, right? They've gone slow across. The fact that they didn't lose anyone on the crossing is really good as well, but that might change because Icy's just been spotted. They're going for a swim, but Brute Force have spotted it, and this is a death sentence, and you're right. It's so tough. They didn't quite shut in. I might have gone for a more land-based attack, but that northern shore is just so open. You can see there is no way that you can cover that ground without being spotted, unless they just aren't looking, which is very unlikely for a team like Brute Force.
Yeah, it was an odd gamble for the Moneymakers to try and hold in Hartin. I expected them to more go for something on the mainland and try and push up. I think it might have been because they only found one vehicle. As we saw them going through the valley, they're like, look, I think we have to swim this. But Brute Force happy to pick up some more points here. You know, anything extra the Brute Force can get just solidifies their position in first place.
And onto Moneymakers as well, the second place team. This could not be better for them.
Yeah.
They're taking the points from them. The next shift goes, and he's right on top of IWNRX again. That ridgeline that I was talking about before actually becomes a pretty major feature that they have to be worried about, because approaching from that ridge can make things pretty tricky, but getting up to that ridge is always that first hurdle.
Respect that from IWNRX as well. I mean, you see them straight away, they push down towards the south compound here. They know that at this point, they have to let some teams in. So they give up some of the weaker sides of that compound to allow some squads over towards them. I'm sure they will have picked up more nades coming through from Twisted Minds, as they had a lot of time to pilfer through Cow. So yeah, for IWNRX, this is starting to shape up to be a lovely game. Enigma Galaxy, it is not ending well for them. Just unable to find points today.
DA trading back and forth with Brute Force. It's not really the sort of team you want to be tangling with right now, but on their route out of Cow, DA are ahead. Brute Force are going to have to deal with them should they want to move further forwards. Neos creeping his way towards Scarface. He's holding inside this shack. Brute Force looking for that res to keep themselves up as 4. Scarface just trying to stay vigilant here, but there is 3, and he is the solo split right now from the duo. Coldex and Yekta across the way. He hops out and immediately taken down. You've got to know that Brute Force are looking away. I'm not too sure what he was thinking about there.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, honestly. It doesn't pan out the way that they would quite like. Team Spirit looking to pick up a lot of points down towards this south side, John, and there is a lot to be had.
Getting out the door, catches pre-pod for a little bit, but not too much more than that. Nades in towards Coldex, that should see him down. Yekta's already low. The nade is still cooking, it's going to force him out. He gets around behind the corner. I'm not sure if they spotted it, but it's not going to matter. They're down either way. Brute Force handle DA. Power in the meantime against the Gladiators on the southwest side. There's a lot of teams in this area, Blank. And the nades are flying back and forth. Gladiators have lost 2. Power as well. Eating casualties left and right. The Gladiators trying to keep them at bay, and they will be able to do it. But Fadan may be able to change that tune. Matic steps out for the challenge and wins it. But Gladiators now just down on 1, and it's the Bullist Chaos team to find the points away. Team Spirit, you can see they were looking to break out, try and crunch this one through, but they're going to have to move further forwards. IWNRX stay sequestered on the south side.
Yeah, teams got to start thinking about flying in towards those compounds. The IWNRX is just left open, but I think teams are worried that there's still players there. I mean, at this stage of the game, no one's really allowing them in.
Look at that, the shift from IWNRX. They've gone to a different side of the compound. This is where that sound bridge line can really hurt them if they stay there. S2G versus Nick McGalaxy on the southeast side. On their way out from Paradise Resort, they've kept all 4 of themselves alive, but now they've taken Calci as a knock, and their vehicles are starting to take some heavy damage. Furia holding against Brute Force, almost solo with the UMP, nearly finding a second knock, but there's a crossfire coming on through for Cork, and 3 players from Brute Force are down at the cost of Furia. He held his nerve, he did his job, but is it going to be enough? Neos now the last to stand for Brute Force. The points are getting picked up, and Malloy looking to move on in. Extending the O's on that one for no reason at all.
Because you found it fun. Nice nade, not quite far enough. Does blast the vehicle out of the way, though. Dramatic fashion. Brute Force able to keep some of their players alive. IWNRX, 10 eliminations thus far on this game. A fantastic result for them. Pushes them into 6th place and pushes Team Spirit out of that top 5 that would be heading through to the survival stage and group stage.
Pretty crazy to think. Bit of S2G go down here. Point scoring potential goes up for these 2 teams to try and push them back out. Same story for Besiktas. Are in some real strong spots right now. Virtus Pro. Malloy moving up. Rookie goes down to Hamzy. Falconist as well on the south side. I think he's going to go down too. Yeah, Footballers Chaos are out now as well. And S2G pick up those points. 7 eliminations. A lot of the top side of this lobby still playing on in this one.
I mean, Besiktas desperately wants some more points as well because they've been falling behind. Malloy, though, in the grass. Nade's going over the top. They get a little tickle of damage. Steps up with the AUG. Can't quite find Freezer. Will jump through the air with the DPS. Looks over towards Judo. Immediately almost hits that shot as well, John.
Knows that there's threat from this direction. 2 players now for Brute Force on the northern side. The compound there on the north, super powerful, but Virtus Pro can't hold it because their 2 players are knocked. It's all up to Malloy to get them back into action. And Judo further down the hill. Makes it so tough. Team Spirit looking to try and find an 8. They've spotted Neos, but S2G get an answer over towards Team Spirit, and they're going to have to cross as well. IWNRX in their side of the compound, so happy with this.
Yeah, it's a perfect opportunity there for IWNRX. Their move off towards that eastern compound to put themselves more central comes in absolutely clutch towards this end game here. Now, Team Spirit, if they still had vehicles, they can maybe wrap up towards that north side, potentially take the compound on the east. But it's difficult. They're getting in the vehicles now, preparing them to move.
Oh, S2G taking a lot of points away from this lobby right now for S2G. They really want to stay up in those top 5 spots, these 5 qualification spots. Team Spirit making their move. They're swinging up. They're sweeping the north. Blank, they're trying to come in and take this compound on the north side. This is a huge move from Team Spirit. It's not been stopped by IWNRX. Can Judo do something about it? The solo player from Brute Force. They're taking a lot of damage, but they've managed to keep themselves alive on this northern side. This could be the move that changes it all for them. The nade over to Judo takes him down.
That's a great nade coming through from Effect. This gives them a little bit of high ground. And again, that only comes through the fact that they were able to scout over towards that position. They saw it was pretty barren. But again, this is more of Team Spirit just trying to secure their position towards that top 5. With IWNRX here and S2G, both teams that are looking to shut them out, it is bad news for them. Circle shifts back down towards the southwest, giving IWNRX more opportunity to accrue points on this game.
That is a hard shift. So tough. Team Spirit, they went all the way to the other side of the circle. Now they got to go back again. They can stay in this compound for a while. They're just going to want to close these ones out. If they can find a pick over towards IWNRX, then brilliant. But I don't think S2G make this one. I don't think they make this run. It's pretty close to impossible for them.
Very difficult.
Any sort of pick over towards IWNRX would be huge for Team Spirit.
Yeah, they're certainly on the outside edge here, John. Team Spirit needs those pickoffs, but it's IWNRX to pick them up. Up to, I believe, that's around about 12 eliminations now. They go down with 10. Kine picks up a great one. Nomi's out as well. That's 2 players down. This is definitely done now for Team Spirit.
IWNRX with 2 players now in the way. Kitsune stepping out wide, trying to find a knockdown. Swain, another roll in, but I think he's down to the vehicle explosion. It's all up to Effect on the backline. As Kine gets the flush, Naomi is there. They're both getting some healing done. The circle shifts, and they're actually, a lot of them on the south side. Effect peeks out with the strafe shot. There's Naomi for another onto Z-Wolf. Now they have a little bit more of a chance here. Kine does have to move forwards, but they've got the wall to get around. This corner completely covered off, or it should be. Naomi goes down first, and an immediate snap for the second. It is going to be IWNRX claiming a spot in the top 5. Team Spirit do well on this match, but so do S2G, so do Besiktas, so do all the other teams around the top side. And is it going to be enough to see them safe?
What a game from IWNRX. I mean, that will have sent them very far up the tables. I don't think that keeps Team Spirit safe, though, because S2G also flew up the rankings. They did not get as many placement points as Team Spirit, but they got so many more eliminations than them. Oh, John, this was a fantastic game to watch here, because it really was, all of a sudden, our teams that desperately wanted to stay in the top 5, all fighting out for it. So it didn't really change much.
I think we're going to see a little bit of a shuffle. I think the big change out of the small little shuffles is obviously going to be IWNRX and their elimination count this match. Their huge amount of points accrued, adding over 20 to their tally, is going to see them pretty far up those tables. And you said you wanted to see them going over to EWC. I think you might have just booked your ticket.
Yeah, I think for those guys, it has been a fantastic set of games today for them. They kept going. For IWNRX, their games in the league stage look crazy good. And those games in the league stage have also somewhat been the only thing to keep them in this, right? So I'm very, very excited to see IWNRX head over towards that EWC, John. I hope they can continue this trend. They need to continue this trend with these massive games, because that looks so weird, right, John, in terms of the way they played that. It was so smart. It was so intelligent. It looked more akin to what we saw from them in that league stage, and not a team that has just been fumbling so many games on their side.
Yeah, I mean, that compound obviously did get a lot of shifts sent towards it, right? They did have a bit of help from the Circle Gods, but when all was said and done, you're right. They're intelligent maneuvering within that compound is what won them that match. 26 points as well. That is their reward for their troubles. S2G with 15, Team Spirit with 12, Brute Force with 10, Besiktas with 6. As you said, it is those teams who want that top 5 spot all able to put up at least a decent result here. Besiktas obviously only on 6, but that's still a really good result to be able to find out of chaos like that.
Yeah, it does push them further up the tables, though, right? And pushes them away from a lot of the squads down towards the bottom of the tables, which is the good thing here for those teams, is that at least now they're sort of battling between one another. Don't think Team Spirit is too unhappy with S2G getting the points there, because they've been very inconsistent. And I think if Team Spirit can maybe have 1 or 2 more good games at the end of the day, that might see them safe. It's still, again, those teams underneath them, which are the scary thing in terms of putting up those points. But leaving it to those last 3 matches of the day is rough, John. It's rough.
I'm looking at Power here and Moneymakers, 2 teams in the top 5, or they were at the start of this match. That didn't really get a lot of points in. And, normally it's fine that you have one of these, but the fact that everybody else did so well around you is going to be nerve-wracking for them. I mean, it's just so crazy to have a final circle like that with that composition of teams, right? All able. I think multiple teams had double-digit eliminations there. It was really quite something.
Yeah, it was. And I think it's almost feeling like, it's getting to 5 minutes to midnight for these guys in terms of trying to put those points up. Let's look at the overalls now and see where that places some of our teams, because that certainly was a massive game to switch things up. Brute Force still in first place, 21-point lead. Moneymakers trailing behind a little bit, but IWNRX 4th place, S2G in 5th, and Team Spirit just about staying in with those 2 points above Besiktas, who have been pushed out from 2nd place at the start of the day.
Yeah, with Power still in there, that 6th place is still technically a qualification to the survival stage, sure, but you are going, which is better than nothing. You'll take that, and the 2 points is the difference maker. But it is now still tight from 3rd down to, I'd say, 3rd down to 7th within that 10-point boundary. This is starting to get dangerous for a lot of these teams around here. Power just about able to cling on to 3rd place.
Yeah, I mean, for Power, 3rd place looks good, but like you say, IWNRX knocking at the door now. It is wild to see this happening in real time, and it's shuffling up. But again, Brute Force, Moneymakers, Power Esports, IWNRX, S2G, and Team Spirit are all teams that, this feels like the right 6 to me at the moment. This definitely feels like the correct 6 that we should be taking through to the EWC. But there's still teams underneath that can push their way through with a lucky game, with a good circle. So many of these teams here are capable of just gigantic performances.
Absolutely. Down to the 2nd page, Enigma Galaxy, 90 points, 83. I think at this stage, it's goodbye to the Gladiators and Fireflux. 3D Max with 3 matches still. I don't know, man. Getting up to 110 in 3 matches, I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, neither do I. I think that with the way they're playing right now, Fireflux, 3D Max, Gladiators, again, considering their current predicament within these games of just making poor plays after poor plays, it doesn't look like it's going to be happening, John, here in this tournament.
15th place for Fireflux with 2 chicken dinners is kind of wild. They have somehow managed to just only earn either wins or absolutely nothing. It's unfortunate, but this is the PMSL EMEA, and there are so many more stories to tell here. We've got 3 more matches to play to try and see who our top spots will be, who's going to be moving forwards, and who will be lifting that trophy at the end of the day. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, let's get acquainted with World of Wonder version 3.2. This version is loaded with surprises. Besides piloting cool mechas for exciting battles, there are brand new maps to experience. Let's check it out. First, there's a brand new themed map template. In World of Wonder, players can now play all kinds of creations built from a variety of scenery objects. Engage in thrilling battles aboard the Steel Ark. At the same time, get ready for the brand new Steel Arena map template. Here, players can pilot mechas and engage in battles. Give this new combat a shot. In addition, players can compete in shooting competitions with target dummies and have fun playing soccer. Head to World of Wonder to discover even more fun maps and gameplay. So, get in the game and try it out. Next, we've also made a few system improvements to World of Wonder. Players can now go to the player information page to check their World of Wonder play statistics and creation data. As for creation tabs, we've added a Friends tab. Now, you can find your friends' creations more easily and check out what creations they've been enjoying. Additionally, to better help you find the maps you like, you can search for them by creation ID, creator UID, creator name, creation name, and more. There are still more improvements for you to discover. We made some improvements to gameplay devices and interactions. For gameplay devices, we've improved and updated the PvE enemy spawn device, random action device, special vehicle device, and more. For example, the themed mode's mechas have been added to the special vehicle device. These include the Levitron, Strider, and Armament. What's more, we've also improved various interactions. Creators can now edit the orientation and scaling of items directly. In free view mode, objects can be moved, rotated, or resized by modifying their coordinates. Interactized objects can now be held and tossed by characters, and they can also be moved by hitting them. Discover more improvements that let you be as creative as you like. Finally, in World of Wonder editing mode, the team leader can edit the permissions of team members when group editing. That's a wrap for this introduction to some of the new World of Wonder content. We look forward to seeing all your brilliant creations in-game. For more new version updates, be sure to follow the official community. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. See you next time.
Just keeps getting better as time goes on. Today, another massive slobber knocker over on Sandhawk has left us again asking the question who our top 5 is going to be, because it is still far from clear. All that we do know is it's likely going to contain brute force. Other than that, I could be anyone's guess.
Yeah, Brute Force looking to get themselves the 55k online up towards that top side of the prize pool. and doing a great job of it. I mean, that last game, they even pushed themselves out of cow and moved back over that way, and they were still able to get a decent game off the back of it. Team Spirit made some good decisions, some good moves, and despite all that, the circle just did not want them to win whatsoever, shifting back down towards IWNRX. Again, a tough game, and I think they did a good job towards the end there to try and fend off IWNRX, but the position they were in was just very, very difficult. Looking at the games ahead, though, I think we are starting to see, like I said before, we're starting to see a top 6 moving away from the rest of the pack now.
Yeah, it's going to require breakout games from the teams beneath that to really have a chance at maybe making it in towards those PMWC spots that still are available up for grabs. Of course, that is what it's all about, right? Getting to the PMWC, those top 5 placing teams, when you exclude either Power or Twisted Minds, depending on who finishes at the top for the host country invite, will be going to the Esports World Cup from the 19th to the 28th of July for their shot at the title over there against all of the best teams in the world. So we've got to select our teams, our best teams, hopefully from EMEA, and it is still just so close.
It really is. It's so undecided at the moment. I think right now the top 6 that would go through to the group stage and survival stage at this moment in time, if we just shut things down now, I would be very pleased with that top 6. I think that is a top 6 that would do very well over in the EWC, and I think they would be some of our best teams, if not our best teams, to send. There has been some disappointments coming through over towards the bottom side of the tables, but again, I can't be too disappointed because it is so close, right? It is so close that everyone has tried to put their best foot forward. You can't really fault too many teams. I think the only team that it feels rough for is Gladiators.
I mean, yeah, given their legacy, given their history, and given that they had a bit of a glow up in week 3 as well, we were coming in a little bit more hopeful for them, maybe not to qualify, but not to do what they're doing here, because it is unfortunate. It doesn't quite live up to the names on the roster. They've been chopping and changing it quite a lot as well in terms of like who they're subbing in, benching, who is the person who's been sitting out each time. It's not quite working out, but I'll tell you who it is working out for. It is Brute Force today. They have had a marvelous run in their games. These are average numbers, blank. They're average numbers over the games that we've seen, the first 3. And you can see, at the moment, it's the rookie Freezer who's topping the tables on the damage.
Yeah, awesome stuff from this team. And the amount of time they've been getting into these end games every time is crazy as well. 23 minutes 48 Freezer, 24 minutes 12 for Chudo. So they are just not giving up. Even when some of their teammates are going down, they're still pushing through. And that's what makes them a bit of a fearsome team, that even as 2, they're still able to play off the back of one another very, very well. It is terrifying to come up against, and they don't go down easy. So you got to put more bullets than you might think you need into this team, because they are just absorbing them right now.
Absolutely. You can see that, Freezer and Judo currently highest average survival time by quite a distance, although it depends on where they've gone down in the previous matches. Of course, with only 3 matches, going down early does have a bit of an impact. It is interesting, though, that Neos is a little bit underperformant compared to the rest of them, given his strength over the course of the entirety of those league stages. But yeah, absolutely a brutal team to come up against. In any situation. They have been doing so much work today to solidify themselves at the top of those tables.
I see Chudo there, about 20 presses a second on his screen. It's sort of awesome, I'm not going to lie.
I'm interested in the race for MVP title as well, right? Because I think it includes both league stage and finals. And I think it was Nomi who was in the lead at the end of league stage for Team Spirit, with Zedwolf pretty close behind. And I'm wondering if we're going to see Brute Force maybe able to push a player up in and amongst it over the course of the games that they've had so far, because it has been pretty tricky for those other 2 teams, although with obviously that last performance from IWNRX, I think Zedwolf got quite a lot done during that last match.
Yeah, honestly, Zedwolf is just a fantastic player all around. Kine as well, I don't think we can really dismiss him as a player.
Definitely not.
IW NRX have some really, really strong players on the squad. Up to 4th place now, 119 points. So despite everything, have managed to claw their way back. And it has been a little bit more quiet from them, a bit more of just grabbing 10 points here and there, playing a bit of a safer game. I think they had to switch things into much slower play style, just because they weren't getting the same points as they were used to, or just having some bad matches here and there, so they decided to go for something more consistent, which really only works because this lobby has been so close that they know that as a really strong team, if they can just get 10 points per match by playing a slower play style, by playing something that's a bit more safe, that doesn't rely on getting a huge amount of eliminations per match, they were able to get back up towards this positional map. This is where they can either strike out or just try and confirm a position in the top 4. And personally, if I was IW NRX, knowing what could happen with week 2, I think staying with that slow play style to the end of the day until it becomes apparent that something drastic needs to happen is probably the right move, and just forsake that prize pool to get yourself through to EWC.
Well, let's get funky with it, because IWNRX out in Zaki are going to be playing all the way very slow on the northwest side. Unfortunately for them, the circle likes Milta today. It is going to be sending out to the southeast side and a long journey ahead of them. Enigma Galaxy potentially in trouble, or is it Kitsune who's in trouble for Team Spirit? That's just to the southeast of Potato Hill with the Moneymakers close by. Yeah, I think they're going to be fine. They're going to just move away from one another. No casualties here. They're keeping it chill. They're just regrouping over towards Pachinki for Enigma Galaxy.
Moneymakers actually drop out quite early on this playing path. They are over towards the top side of Potato Hill. Remember, this is a team that plays down towards Primorsk, so they are rotating through quite a lot of squads. Luckily, at this stage of the game, they should be okay with IWNRX not actually playing down towards the farm by the yellows on the south side of the cliff face. They won't have to rotate through anything too drastic. Looks like Icy's already taken a bit of a hit, but that's about it so far. And they'll just move on out. But they have to move down to come back up. Now, if they identify the yellows are open, they could probably loot there. It's not the greatest, but it will do the trick.
I mean, it looks like Enigma Galaxy trying to corral them back up towards Pachinki as well. Seems to be on the warpath. I mean, Coops has got that AKM. Having that sort of weaponry, and there's an M16 on board as well. Having that sort of weaponry, very valuable in these early scuffles. And Moneymakers, again, just slowed down. So they are still going to have to figure out where they can drop in for some loot, because they desperately need to get this on board so that they can come back into the circle, like you said.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a rubber band here for Moneymakers. When it snaps back, it's going to be painful for them getting back into the circle. A tough one to be sure, but I think they can make it happen. Enigma Galaxy picking up more vehicles will get them parked up over towards Pachinki. Power on foot. The cross-country hike.
Get the cardio in, getting those steps up. Looks like they are looking pretty fit and healthy at the moment, though, with 120 points in 3rd place. And this is the team that we said has been a breakout performer here in PMSL EMEA. A team that has some strong players, Al-Haji obviously doing so well previously. Coming into this roster, we thought, okay, like maybe they'll get something done, maybe not the best in the lobby, but they'll be interesting to watch, see if they're going to develop anything. It has been developed. In this tournament, Power has stood out time and time again, starting a little bit slower, but they just kept up that pace, and right now they are one of the most formidable teams in this lobby.
Yeah, just consistency-wise, just no chicken dinners, but still putting up 120 points here at the top of the tables is really astonishing stuff. It's nice to see a team be able to do that. Obviously, you'd like to see them close out games. They're currently not quite able to do that just yet. But regardless, just being able to put up that amount of eliminations per match, get yourself a decent amount of placement points, that's absolutely fine. That will take you all the way. And if anything, it's actually harder to make that play style, because it means you can't really have too many bad games if you're not getting those chicken dinners behind you. So with Power, this has been a great finals for them, just in terms of fortitude.
RCB finds solace. Fireflux continue their downward trend there, unfortunate. Point added to the RCB tally. If they wanted to do anything, that's what they've got to keep on doing. Ooh, there's a little bit of a catch out here. Okay, Twisted Minds. They're holding out for IWNRX, and this is great news for S2G, for Team Spirit, and Besiktas as well.
Honestly, for IWNRX, I don't know what they expected coming towards Zaki. It's not like Twisted Minds have not seen this before. And again, people might not have expected Twisted Minds to get in here, but as soon as they breach that 16th place position, I think as IWNRX, this strategy should have maybe been scrapped.
Ooh. A 1-for-1 trade on towards the buggy. Kind will get that flush, but can the rest of Twisted Minds establish the perimeter? Slow them down enough. Kind going to allow themselves a little bit of smoke cover to move back as Zedwolf gets flushed. I think they might be able to stay up as 3. And a 1-for-1 trade so far. Dammy. No, never mind the boulder. He's just got to keep pressing forwards there. Up into the tree. Molotov in hand there for Frozen, which might force Dammy back. And there's a nade in hand now. That lobs over. That looks pretty good. It should be on the money, but it's not going to do enough damage to get the knock. Already had the first aid kit going. But another nade over, and that might be good. Frozen knocks Dammy out in the blue. Very isolated from the rest of his team. Too far forwards. He got a little bit too bold.
Rex being able to pick up points here, but they're out in the blue now. They will have to move. I don't know how devastated the vehicles are, so there's a couple of them on side. They'll have to come pick up Frozen eventually. 2 players left alive here in Yusuf, as well as Never Alone up top. But they do have angles down towards them. And again, this is just delaying IWNRX's game massively and losing Zedwolf. The worst player to lose, I would say, for IWNRX this early on.
Definitely a bit of a blow to the morale. Kind wants to challenge with Yusuf. He's cooking the nade. He knows the tree. He's putting it forwards, but he's down. That's so unfortunate. And Swain didn't have the off angle in time to stop it from happening. But he's going to have to let back for Kind, but Never Alone with the shots. Not quite able to connect fully, but the blue zone, could it tick him away? This is dangerous. Needs to have a bandage rolling. If he wants to try and stay alive here, needs to look after himself first. Frozen, having to roll on in. Kind still yet to get res. Never Alone has the nade. Frozen moving up a little bit closer. Swain has managed to get a heal off, and they get the flush over onto Yusuf. 3 players still alive for IWNRX, but Twisted Minds have the nade. Frozen moving away from this.
Quick first aid. Dropping the bandies on, in fact, because only 1 first aid kit in the back pocket. IWNRX look to have solved their problems as Kind gets back up to 70% and will move out, but I think this is only the beginning of the problems, and we'll need to have a lot more solutions ready for the rest of the game here. Looking over towards that eastern side, which we really haven't had too much time to take a look at. The circle shifts back down towards that southwest. Get on top of Team Spirit, who will have to regroup here. I think it has to be said that Team Spirit has been given a lot of opportunities in these matches.
Yeah.
And yet have not been able to glean all that much from them. Again, in 6th place is not terrible, but with the amount of times the circle has dropped on top of them here, giving them a bit more of a chance in these matches, especially on our angle, one of our fairer maps. Yeah, it does feel frustrating for Team Spirit fans. Besiktas here looking to regain that 6th place as a team that's directly competing with Team Spirit behind them with 110 points.
Team Spirit establishing their regroup. Maintaining a single building, though, on a pretty tight, close fort area. They're pretty safe from Besiktas right now. It's only going to be long-range knocks that might trigger a little bit of an engagement. This is where IWNRX only lost 1, to their credit, in this engagement with Twisted Minds. Only losing 1, pretty successful, all things considered, but not ideal. Getting spotted out by Twisted Minds. Where were the Onyx Ravens? Why didn't they come in third party this Zaki engagement? Come on.
Yeah, the double engagement going on that top side. That really did ruin IWNRX's day. Power easy as spotted. This is over towards the ferry pier. on that south side. Al-Haji knocks Easy in the back. Actually just wearing him as a backpack. That's even better.
Easy pushed off the ridgeline. Zidane just suppressing him. Enigma Galaxy a little bit further along the coastline. This is a really tricky ridge to play in general. I mean, you've got a lot of sight lines. It's very difficult to move around. And if you get caught short by some off angle, by some little bit of a crash, it's difficult to back up your team. It's difficult to keep those crossfires. So whilst it might seem safe for the time being, it's right on the edge of this circle, and it's going to be difficult.
Almost into stage 3 now, where we will get this circle even closer. And already a lot of playable space has been cut out with this one edging its way down into Sosnovka, with the water quite a lot in play, in fact. You got Farm being a pretty big position here for a lot of teams to be looking at. You got Kitsune, who is holding out over towards that eastern side, just in case the circle moves far off towards the east, but in fact will move over towards that northwest edge. Gladiators pick up a position that Team Spirit is very well used to playing.
Could potentially be a little bit of a crash, and I think, yeah, Gladiators should regroup on this. They're doing just that. IWNRX right on that south coast. They're behind Power right now. Yeah, everybody looking to sweep north. The Moneymakers, most notably up into the east side of Pachinki Fields and into those buildings, going to look to stepping stone their way over towards Potato Hill, potentially. S2G, they've come into contact with Footballers Chaos a little bit further south. You can see Power. This is on the southwest side, right next to the coast. Still able to spot IWNRX, who've been on the road for quite a while. And they've got to go a little bit further now.
It's a tough one for IWNRX. At least the circle moves a bit further off towards that western side, so they can play on that. They could even move up towards Potato Hill. Wouldn't be a bad idea to try and take control at least of one side of it. Power decides that I want to send Fidan out to scout for the rest of the team. This compound that he moves up to is actually free. Gladiator is trying to confirm towards that northeast side. Nice shot from Shudo, though. This is brute force spread along the coast. They love playing these wide splits, man. And they're so confident on their own to hit their shots and defend themselves. It is such a dangerous play style, but they are making it work.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, they're 21 points in the lead, well, 22 now with the elimination that they were able to snaffle up there. Power into the compound on the south side. I think IWNRX also kind of want this. DA moving in just to the edge of a farm compound there. Fireflux going to share it with them across the way. Fireflux on 3 players. They can't hold fully on these angles, and they've already got catch on a forward leg, meaning that they can't really hold DA out at all.
Yeah, DA is barreled onto them here, smothering them somewhat. Some shots from Kikali over towards Twisted Minds. He tried to take centre, but it was just that one player and never alone. It was a miracle that he'd made it this far from Zaki after being left out alone for a long, long time. Yeah, don't take shots back up towards Footballers Chaos. They do have the high ground. He's not up there. Fortunately for Yekta.
Just checking, making sure. You just want to keep that suppression on if you can. Onto the angle. 3D Max on this south side as well. Have managed to get their res through. The next circle, pretty close to popping now. IWNRX on this west side. With a difficult position. They do have that high ground. The high ground will lead up towards that Potato Hill position. Look at the Virtus Pro split as well on this northern side. You can see a duo on that east edge. Milky Way and Malloy now trying to move closer towards Potato Hill, but they're going to have to push a little bit further south on this one. This is a very tricky circle. That south side of Potato Hill, very, very steep. Creates a lot of potential to have some scraps from that west side and from that north side of this next circle.
I think if you're looking at this one, you can sort of say that western edge is going to be cut out completely, and a lot of the engagements and fighting happening around there will have to come to a conclusion. The difficulty comes that Power and IWNRX, as well as Moneymakers and Furia and Virtus Pro, will be forced to fight. Like, they can't stay here. They either have to move down towards the south or the north. I like what Virtus Pro did, though. They had that scout sat out, and they will be looking to shunt Moneymakers out of this one.
Oh, Sulky wanted to hop.
Oh,
He wanted to hop in, but it was just blocked by the car there. Wanted to hop up for the DBS shot catch, though. Rampage is on through. Here's the drop shot on him as well. Nearly there. Just one more. Get the reload, and he's out. Messy, but it works.
Scarface is up top and just says, "I'm sorry, guys, but you died 1v3."
Sorry, I'm on the phone. I can't help out right now.
I mean,
Obviously.
reasonable, because there's so many sightlines over towards that position. You just couldn't even afford to jump down to help. Football is Chaos flew into that spot, though.
Yeah, just immediately taking it down. Brute Force versus Power. Minus Kante. And IWNRX as well.
Three-way.
Outside track. There's a three-way fight right now. Frozen down on the outside. Pre-pod as well. So right now, it's a 2v3v3. And they're all going to have to leave because I think the Galaxy have such great sightlines over to this fight. I don't think anybody gets out as a strong team in this situation.
Nah, this is an uncomfortable position to be in. Like, even if you win the fight, there are sightlines that are going to be looking over towards you. There's a good push from Brute Force. They don't quite spot out the first player from IWNRX, but they will finish him off. Now just one player remains. He jumps out the window, trying to go for a massive spray with a shotgun. And again, 4 more points added to the tally there for Brute Force. 2 players down, but Power hesitant to move in to try and clean this one up.
Can they get Prepod back up? He's been knocked for so long on the high ground. I don't think... Yeah, they're going to have to pick him up and carry him forwards here. It is right on the edge, and Power have got the inside track. They need to make it to a safe place to look for this res. Get far enough ahead of the circle. In the meantime, Virtus Pro and Moneymakers clashing atop Potato Hill. Icy on a sliver of HP. We'll be able to stay alive for a little bit longer and might even be able to get the heal now. Virtus Pro is 4. Moneymakers as well. Grenades pouring over the top. That was another knockover towards Brute Force, I think, from Power in the meantime, over from that southwest conflict that we cut away from. Conflict. Strafing him with the blue. Going to keep Virtus Pro at bay. Breaking out wide, taking a risk there. The next circle comes in. It's up north, and the Gladiators still happy about this.
Yeah, it's a good compound for them, but it's a question whether they can get a good game off the back of it, right? That is a lovely nade from the Moneymakers. That's exactly why they are where they are in the leaderboards right now. Some great plays, some great shots, but the off angles are devastating over their way, and they only have to get pushed further in. Milky Way has to hit some big shots here if he wants to keep his team alive.
Furia can crawl back now. Virtus Pro, they got the smokes. They managed to tag a little bit of damage, and Havlik goes down. Gets flushed away. A good start. Brute Force did manage to get all 4 of their players back up. They are now healed. And ticking up with those stems. Virtus Pro as well, looking to get all these reses. Descent from Potato Hill will be tricky. That east side can be treacherous. Brute Force now moving in for the fight with Power. Zidane goes low. Remember, it's 3 versus 4. They weren't able to confirm any of these flushes. Actually wanting to hold in forwards, but will go down. Prepod spots it. 2 players up top now, and the nades can start to pour in through the windows. Zidane descends. They don't want to get taken out by a single nade. Zidane on the ground floor, looking for the heals. He's on the balcony, and they know it. Flicking that door open and close, but Chujo's too quick for it. Has the reaction speed to handle it. Easy now, the last to stand for Power. Sprays down the stairs, good for 1 onto Brute Force. Still 2 more to go. There's a knock on the outside. Second spray down on the staircase. Can he get a third? No, he can't. It's Niels to keep things together. Can Brute Force again repair themselves? Recoalesce. I don't think they go as 4, but can they go as any more than 1?
No, it's just the one player here. The blue's coming in too fast. You walk too slow with a player on your back as well to make this happen. So everyone's going down. Neo's likely to fall afterwards, but 7 eliminations. It's already a good enough game here. Like, they're keeping up a great average. It's brute force. And this is all they really needed to do, is just win these fights. Again, I'm surprised Power are able to let them in there. But it does sort of make sense where you see them using those nades, you see them pushing up as a 2-man split on either side. The teamwork from brute force is absolutely sublime, right? It's genuinely a splendid show of teamwork. Like, every single play seems to come hand in hand between either 2 players or a 4-man push. They know exactly where they're going, which player is on what duty and when. You got 2 players moving up whilst 2 players assault with grenades. Like, this is exactly why brute force is currently in first place. Just their crashes and their ability to win fights from awkward locations. Unprecedented in the lobby at the moment.
A clear first place right now for brute force. They are certainly on pace today and this week. The comeback kids, after the first day, they were down in 12th, right? They were really quite far away, even towards the end of the second day. And then it all changed, just that one Miramar. And they remembered just why they've been picked up for this roster, just why they call themselves brute force. It's not over yet, but it's looking that way for the tables. Moneymakers, they are still in with a shot from this northwest side, but they've lost a player. They don't have any points, and the chase is going to be tough for them, and they're probably the only team in a position to do it at this stage.
Circle does move back up towards that north side. Very, very cruel there, and AZ actually spots over towards effects. Nick McGalaxy should hear the shots. Luther, in fact, goes to peek his head over. Think better of it, though. Fury, those are the kind of shots you have to hit.
That is unfortunate. Moneymakers, though, they're deeper into the blue. They have to move a little bit sooner than Virtus Pro. You can see they are lining up to go for their send. Where do you go with that? I think there's a little shack, a little bit of cover that they might be able to find their way into. You can see it just over there ahead of them. The S2G are in the one before them. Getting across to the rock, getting to the shack might be able to save them for a little bit longer. But Koa, not so lucky. The Wizard Tower keeps S2G hidden.
Team Spirit, they have to crash now. They don't have too much of a choice. They swing wide and head over toward the Gladiator's position. 3 players in, though, is kind of massive, John.
Able to get up the stairs as well. They put it down and they immediately get up on the top floor with all 3 players alive. The DP there as well for effect, meaning they even the numbers, but Nomi hops out and Matic is opening up the cannons. Another knock on the outside there. 2 players for the Gladiators. In come Nick McGalaxy. They needed to crash as well, and Matic needs to hold that angle. Where are they going? Who's taking them down? Nick McGalaxy just falling over on the approach, and that might give Team Spirit an opening, but no, they're shut down. Where are these shots all coming from? S2G chiming in? Are Moneymakers here? What is going on?
Besiktas having just clear sightlines onto this, and it's exactly why you saw Team Spirit break through on that backside. Running up here was so silly. It was so silly from Nick McGalaxy. Again, I can see that they wanted to try and third party onto this, but you have to come round on the other side. Crashing whilst in view of that eastern edge is just a death sentence. And that really does muck up the engagement between Team Spirit and the Gladiators, and the Gladiators just clean house. 8 eliminations.
Where have these Gladiators been, huh? Match number 4 on the final day. It is too late for them. But how much of a dent can they put in their deficit? Well, that remains to be seen. Eastern side, though, Besiktas, a team chasing for one of those top spots. Virtus Pro maybe with an outside chance, but they have 0 eliminations right now, and there's only Corker left, so not too big a chance for them. RCB, 9 eliminations up on this north side. They might be able to step their foot in the door with this, if they can descend from the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, they've been chasing. They have been chasing. I mean, the high ground will give them a little bit of an advantage here. Obviously, some of these other teams do have compounds to work with, but it does move away from the majority of them. Loxy has an outpost to play with. S2G still in the game. And Team Spirit with that will drop down to 7th. They're officially out from an EWC qualification spot with 2 matches to go. Ooh, it's getting worrisome now for Team Spirit.
Really, really is. S2G finally spotted by the Gladiators, no less. The circle does go away from them now. And Besiktas in with a really good chance here. RCB actually establishing on the high ground as well. Over on the north edge. Some pretty dastardly ridges to try and play around for them. Gladiators moving up. Trying to find Ray Z. It's the last player alive. I think they know he's there. Frozen, cooks, over the edge, and that's it. Nicely found there.
It's a really nice nade from Frozen. And back on Major Pride, he was sort of the runner-up, I would say, in terms of grenades to Naomi. But being a runner-up to Naomi is still pretty damn good with the nades. Matic sends a nade through. It actually hits in. There's a Molotov to prevent the run out. Icy is on fire.
Frozen on the other angle. They're putting nades in from both angles. This is so hard to dodge. And Bishke found with a long one from Matic. Nicely done. And that is Moneymakers out of the mix now. RCB extending influence over on this northern side. Still with Corker as a thorn in their side, but Besiktas wanting to challenge from the south have to deal with Gladiators first.
The Gladiators in a tough spot. But for RCB, if I was them, you know, getting rid of Corker would be nice, but I don't even think they know he's here. You start to see Besiktas try and clear out towards the Gladiators. You see if you can get a pick off on the side. Potentially, this is the deadliest team for you at this current moment.
Circle in 10 seconds. Matic low behind the shack. A tiny little bit of cover, keeping him safe for now. Corker is removed. The majority of the circle under control from RCB, and they maintain that on their side of the trail. Gladiators kind of in this one. I think actually there's positions for every single team in this next circle, so we might be going to a full close on stage 8. I wouldn't be too surprised. Oh no, hang on a minute. No, RCB absolutely have that north side on lock. I thought Matic, or Frozen rather, might push out to his left, but yeah, that sideline just unviable.
Yeah, it's the high ground which is the difficulty, which is why this is likely to go to a stage 9, right? Because none of these players want to move up the hill towards RCB. They'd rather try and secure a second place first. And with Gladiators being right on the outer edge, Zone 9 would basically take them down for Besiktas. Up to 5 eliminations. It's not a terrible game for them at all. And getting a second place after what has been a very bad string of performances today.
No getting away from that.
Not really. It sort of just dribbled down the wall.
There's not much you can do about that. You just don't see that nade coming. You don't know he's out there. You're watching out towards Besiktas. It comes in from the side. Frozen across the road. They know he's here. RCB not going to have too much to say about it. The nades seal the deal. Besiktas edge another 2, and it's 4v4. Pitched warfare between 2 squads.
Very difficult game here for Besiktas versus RCB. Though RCB isn't as far up to those front lines as I sort of expected them to be. And we're about 10 seconds away from Zone 9 now. RCB just continuing to hold this, expecting them to move up first. Obviously, they have the clear advantage. Looking down towards them, they can peek up over this ridge side and peek back again and just be in full cover. Whereas Besiktas, they're essentially retreating back into the blue.
The Gladiators get 17 points on this match. They held out admirably.
Oh, the ammo is terrible for Toshvik.
It's not fun, is it?
19 bullets.
That's all he needs. He only needs 4. Goes down. It's not even going to matter. Right next to the blue zone. You can't pick that back up. It's already closing. Wild looks for the flush. RCB add a 12th on the board. Besiktas looking across this road. The nades need to find something. They need a pick somewhere, and that's what they find. Silas on the back. They're able to find that. Are they going to try and go for the res here? Kakali with a long, high grenade. That looks like it could be good. Right up to Kiss. Takes a lot of damage off his health bar, and another one to follow it up. That allows him to move forwards into another cover, and that is a double knock on the nade. A beautiful pickup, and Besiktas riding strong up the mountain. They didn't want to go for it, but Wild sidesteps it. Loxy's there as well to find Lewis. He hits the deck, and Lewis stays up. Kakali has been knocked. It's 2 versus 2 now. The knock comes in as well. It's just Wild for RCB. Can this guy clutch it out? Poser goes down and he hits the deck on full HP. Now it's just Lewis. 1 versus 1. He steps up from the grass. Wild for RCB. Wants to keep this one under control, but he's hit the deck. He's up. He's down. And it's Lewis. Besiktas able just about to play the defilades to move on up. A beautiful double nade from Kakali opens the door from them. And that is how you take it down, Besiktas. Vying for one of those top spots. Ruin the run for RCB.
It's a horrid call from RCB, man. A horrid call from that team there. I mean, as soon as Silas goes down, he has to just be calling out that, guys, don't res me. I'm done for, because otherwise he just ruins the game. You saw exactly what happened there. It's because all the nades came over the top towards that location. The big advantage that RCB had at the start of that is that they had no idea where on that plateau they were playing. Suddenly you've got 3 players all in the same spot on top of the nade that just got a knock. Of course, 3 or small nades are going to sail over the top towards that position. And again, in that situation, you just play on with 3. You just accept the loss there and you play on with 3. And I'm pretty sure if they did that, they would have likely won that for RCB instead of putting so much stock in getting Silas back up again. I think Besiktas was extremely happy on how helpful RCB attempted to be. And I mean, Wild did his absolute best in that end game there with his 3 drones around him locating the players from Besiktas, but he absolutely did his best. But I don't think he should have ever been put in that situation.
No, it was a little bit unfortunate, the decision to try and go back for Silas. And they bit the dust because of it. If they'd have gotten the chicken dinner there, Blank, there was a chance that they have to jump up. I mean, they might still do because of that game. They had a lot of eliminations on the match at highest damage over on Wild. Gladiators as well, 17 points from their position in the compound that they held. That was the one that you said Team Spirit liked to be in, but they just got there earlier. And that's a massive drop-off from teams in 1, 2, and 3 down to that 4th place team, right? 7 points in 4th place is actually really quite low in general, but 21, 19, 17, that's where all those points went.
Again, most teams towards that top 5 still fairly happy about how that went down. I mean, Besiktas is super pleased by that because that puts them very much back in the running towards the top side on a 21-point game. Desperately required. 2 more matches to go. Team Spirit with 1 point, IWNRX with 3, and Power with just a 2 on that one. I think it's around about 2 separate teams right now who are jumping in and out towards that top 6 at the moment. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. But again, at the start of the day, it was more like 10 teams jumping in and out from that top 5 spot. So we have narrowed it down slightly.
I mean, yeah, sure, that's a little bit kind, but yeah, you're right. It is still just so volatile. It's huge for Besiktas. I think with those 21 points, they're going to be fairly safe moving into the final 2 matches. I think Brute Force were able to get 7 points on that match. Again, you spoke about just their prowess in so many different scenarios, even getting onto this top damage page. But look at that, just 2.7, 2.4, 2.3. That's a winning page from each of these 3 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm sad that RCB wasn't able to close out that game because they'd played it so well up until that point. And again, it does feel like they crumble a little bit. As soon as one player goes down, they crumble. And this might sound a bit harsh, but it does feel like it's always Wild to pick up the pieces after that happens because everyone else just starts panicking. So I do think for RCB, they just need to accept that there are going to be losses of teammates during these games. They can't invest too much into them because that one call to go back and res Silas loses them the game, 100%.
Yeah, they just needed to hold that line forwards, give Silas up. There's no way that they can push on in because they've already unleashed the beast with Monster Energy, the official PMSL EMEA sponsor, if you want to find out more about that. monsterenergy.com/gaming. You can check out everything over there. And absolutely, yeah, RCB kind of let it fumble, but that kind of has been the story for them. We'll see how many points they were able to earn and what that's done to the tables, though, as we take a look at the overall rankings. They are on the front page. They're ahead of Team Spirit now, and they are right on the door of actually getting a qualification spot for RCB. That's kind of crazy. Brute Force still 158, quite far ahead now, 24 points in the lead, first place to second place. 2 matches still left to play. That is great news for them, but it is still heating up. And with power in the top 5, that pushes it down so that S2G would currently be the survival stage qualifying place.
Yeah, it'd be such a massive shame not to see Team Spirit in towards that top 6.
Yeah.
But, they haven't been able to put up the same gusto we saw from them in the league stage, in the finals. And if that's the case, then they just don't go through. That's just how it is. But yeah, for Brute Force, this finals has been pretty stellar. Start to finish, just points accrued all over the place. As soon as they got that 30-point game, I think it was pretty much over for most other teams in the lobby. It's just something clicked for them. Virtus Pro just breaks the 100-point mark there, 104, and DA underneath them with 98. A lot of our teams here down towards 10th to 16th. We just aren't seeing strong games coming out from them as much anymore, John.
Yeah, even though Fireflux with those 2 chicken dinners, they're still on 84, and teams are starting to get waylaid enough to be confirmed to be out at this stage. I think it was about 116 was the bubble for our top teams, but we'll have to wait and see where it will end up. We've got 2 more matches. Miramar is up next. You do not want to miss it, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Have some more.
The all-new 2024 Pubg Mobile Super League event PMSL Pass will be available from May 31st to June 30th. The PMSL Pass has 20 levels and only takes 500 UC to unlock. Get a Dark Arts Gentleman set immediately after purchase. After unlocking the PMSL Pass, you can view the missions and complete them to get points. Raise your pass level to claim corresponding rewards. Plenty of rewards await you, including the Dark Arts Gentleman set, Dark Arts Gentleman glasses, Dark Legend Smoke Grenade, Dark Legend Avatar Frame, and the ultimate reward, Dark Legend UMP 45. To quickly raise your pass level, you can 1. Redeem points from Points Voucher redemption codes. You can start by using the redemption code 24PMSL Pass now. 2. Use UC purchase levels directly. After reaching the max level, every additional level reached will grant 1 PMSL crate. Additionally, you can gift the PMSL pass to friends who meet the conditions. Send your friends a small gift and complete to see who unlocks the ultimate reward first. That's all for this introduction to the 2024 PUBG Mobile Super League event. Unlock the PMSL pass, put on the Dark Arts Gentleman's set with friends, and collect amazing rewards.
Hi everyone, PUBG Mobile Metro Royale Chapter 20 is coming soon. Curious about what new content there is? Let's take a look. Our focus for this update is on bettering your gaming experience, so we've added a series of improvements. First, we've added quick action functions. Starting now, you can tap to repair all items at once on the loadout page, and you can open multiple gift packs at once in your inventory. We've also improved the firearm status at the start of the match. During the preparation stage, firearms will be reloaded by default and will be set to full auto firing mode. These improvements all aim to save your time while improving efficiency. Additionally, you can now earn EXP from Metro Royale matches. In other words, playing Metro Royale will now contribute towards raising your player level. If you bring a companion into Metro Royale, they will also earn companion EXP. Chapter 20 also brings brand new honor rewards and collectibles. What's different this time is that after you get certain gold collectibles, they can be displayed in your personal space of the main lobby. You also have the chance to unlock home collectible decorations. Place them in your home to show them off to your friends. With the new version update come enemies who've already infiltrated Metro Royale's Arctic base and Misty Port. While you're out exploring, stay vigilant in these areas, as Striders are active there. Oh, and we've also added 2 new firearms in this update, the P90 Cobra and P90 Steel Front. Don't forget to try them out. That sums up all the new Metro Royale content. Chapter 20 is about to begin. Hop into PUBG Mobile Metro Royale and experience it for yourself. We wish you all successful evacuations and bountiful loot.
The penultimate match is about to kick off now with Miramar up and loaded for our teams to take on one another once more. Brute Force sit out in the lead. Their mascot helping them out. Pretty strong stuff coming through from the mascot, I think, over these last few days, because something has clicked for this roster. Brute Force way out in front.
The brutish bear on the desk.
That's right.
It's nice to see. 158 points. Gorgeous stuff from them. 134 from Moneymakers. Terrifying for a lot of other teams who wanted to try and take that first spot away coming into Miramar, and knowing that Brute Force is just so good at this match, John. It is hard to beat them so far on Miramar when it comes to just playing out in those open zones. They certainly dominate the battlefield. In that way, Prepod up to 32 eliminations, 7 ahead for second place with Easy. Surprisingly easy in second place with 25 eliminations. Really well done to him.
Pretty crazy stuff. Cheeto and Prepod topic. The damage meters there, both, of course, from Brute Force. They're over the world pods of this map. Looks like Nick the Galaxy and Twisted Minds might have some conversations over towards Biodemo. Twisted Minds like to drop on this split south. Nick the Galaxy trying to keep up that southwest as well. In the meantime, the circle goes down to the southeast over Impala Way.
A lot of teams not down there quite yet either, John, so this does open things up for maybe some alternate drop spots. I mean, for Moneymakers, they'll be heading down to Puerto Paraíso, so they should be able to get into there fairly early, I'd say.
They have to get through Impala, though. And potential for that to get taken up by a team like DA could make things tricky, but DA not breaking out there just yet. So that road out on the east side might be the path that they take, you're right. Lost the owners, not being entered just yet, but I think Team Spirit not going to spend too long in Jumasera.
Now, they've made this mistake before where they've hung around in Jumasera for quite a while. And by the time they've made their way over towards Impala, it's just been impossible to get in.
Get it. Great coming out of that one. Moneymakers yet to make their way down south, and actually DA on their manoeuvres as well. Actually going a little bit further potentially. We'll have to wait to see where they end up as they break down. They can turn left to Impala. They're going to stop off in the garage, pick up a little bit more loot.
Oh yeah, it's more loot on board. Then carry onwards after that. Last two matches of our day today and last two matches of the finals. It feels like it was just yesterday we started this tournament, but it has been good old 4 weeks in the making.
Absolutely. Some teams have been able to keep up with the pace, others not so much. It has been grinding, grating. The marathon of league stage followed up by the sprint of finals. It's always an exciting style of game to watch. And I think that change has kind of had an impact. I mean, almost like viscerally had an impact on how this tournament has gone, right? When you're looking at that marathon style, sorry. Oh, goodness me. When you're looking at that marathon style, you're looking at Team Spirit, right, all day. But in this sprint, they do have vulnerability, and it is teams like Brute Force, like Moneymakers, that just outstrip them in these short bursts.
Yeah, but it has felt less like a sprint and more like a tough mudder, honestly, coming into this tournament, just with the fact that it's bogged down a lot of teams. And it's taken like some big old games and some real grit and determination to even try and pull ahead of some of these other squads. Obviously, once you're in the front, you know, it gets a lot easier to keep on running, with other teams not jostling you around and you're just free out in the front style. You're feeling much happier. I mean, we saw that from Brute Force. That can have a massive impact on your performance here in the finals because they were just all smiles, happy and laughing coming into today. And it was still the same. You know, Neos was telling the rest of the team to calm down. You know, we can't let us get to our heads though. But they were just very happy. And I think that's the main thing, because that just kept them calm throughout all of this. Even in some of their rough games, they realized, look, we can get a lot of eliminations from this side. We're likely not going to win the game, but the lead that we're getting, if any other team does badly, then we can just extend it by getting 7 or 8 eliminations per match. And that's exactly what they've done. And they've made it look easy to do that.
It has been very fluid from this team. And it is great to see how switched on they've become in these finals. Team Spirit, they've started to move east from Jumasera now, but a lot of other teams have been quite a lot quicker than they have. DA obviously in Impala, and IWNRX have shunted into the hills out to the east side of it. It's a little bit of a risk going into the Impala hills right now, but it can pay off big time. And obviously there are routes out of them that they can opt to go for, should it be necessary. And on the eastern side of the circle, it's likely to be quite necessary.
Yeah, most teams trying to crunch their way in now. IWNRX takes a really, really quick rotate down towards the south side. They are nestling in just behind Impala towards those mountaintops. We got RCB doing the RCB classic of wherever the dead center of the circle is, let's use some of our mathematical devices
to figure out that exact spot and then set up shop there.
Keep it central. Keep it safe.
Pretty much. That is RCB. Keep everyone safe at all times, apparently.
Well,
I think they do need to allow some of their players to be eliminated. That's okay. You know, this isn't always a reboot of Saving Private Ryan. In this case, Saving Private Silas.
I mean, they did lose a lot of people on Saving Private Ryan. Trying to get that one guy back.
Players. Yeah. I see what you mean.
That
I thought you were talking about that.
Real low.
Yeah, real low, real bad. Not to make light of what happened, but yeah, not a lot of people made out of that one. The same for RCB.
Sorry, spoilers, I should say.
Oh, everyone survived.
Yeah, pretty sure, yeah.
No one had a bad time.
It was actually really good fun. It's like a summer camp.
Yeah.
3D Max. On this northwest side is a Labendita area. Going to be playing, again, on a decent, kind of central area. A little bit up to that northwest side, but again, quite close to the middle. This second circle on Miramar, we know how dastardly it can be. It can even take us all the way out to those East Islands. Blank, we've seen it before. It is possible.
I don't want it to happen, though.
I think at this stage, it would be a crying shame for it to happen, you're right.
Yeah. The team's all trying to battle out for that top side, looking for a fair match, especially on their last two maps of the day as well, John. It's a rough one. It's a rough one. Ooh. Again, every single team...
I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry.
Why have you done that?
It's all my fault.
You've caused serious problems for all the players inside this lobby now. Everyone's worrying. Everyone's shaking in their boots. This could easily not be even a nice island finish. It could be that horrid little spot over towards the eastern side that's just got a tiny bit of land. Everyone crunching up now.
All right, so there are some important positions here. The warehouses sat on the north side of the circle. The compound's further down the road, and everybody's going to be scrapping on out for them. This is just above those warehouses now. On the south side of Impala, Fireflux moving on in. DA as well. DA have taken heavy casualties on this approach.
Which does go fairly central, John.
absolutely do need to get involved.
Fireflux up into the hills. Victor close by. Potential to play from these ridges. These defilades do give you a bit of cover. Footballers Chaos making the move. They're swinging up to the north side of the road. Matic is lighting them up as they go. Hasn't managed to find a knock just yet. Nearly takes down Rookie and will be able to get the knock. Here comes the cavalry as well, but they're on the roadside. They're on board. And Matic finds one. Footballers Chaos throwing it away on a crossing. And Falconist goes down as well. There's no chance you make that. They had such a tough time moving in from that western edge, but it could have been a little bit more for them. But as it stands, I don't think they're going to be able to do too much to move in, but even so, they're at the back of the pack of the chasers in this final match.
Yeah, I mean, for Footballers Chaos, like I said, it's a very difficult position to push in through. I think you have to go underneath and play on the road, but the way the Gladiators had played this, they had two angles looking over towards the road and Tixie holding onto that position, almost dangled like bait for other teams inside the lobby. Now we got Gladiators. 3D Max put up against one another. Last player goes down for them.
This is 3D Max going down. Fireflux and Gladiators. The battle for the bottom of the tables will continue. For the moment, Gladiators just maintain control. And this is so disappointing to me because this is a Gladiator game that they have done really well on, right? And we've seen another one of these so far today as well. They have had their moments, but they just haven't been enough. They haven't been where they needed to be, as frequent as they needed to be, because this is the power that we know from the Gladiators.
Yeah, exactly. That is a nasty name from Tixie. Sorry, just driving around. I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to achieve there. Nade's back over the top side. He is quite low as Tixie, so one nade might do the trick. Sidesteps it. Goodness gracious me.
Molotovs, nades, Solus goes down to Matix. AZ and Matic now moving forward. Solkay has broken out quite wide here. Never can count him out, but Matic has him on the bead. He managed to land that spray. Won't throw it away this time. And the Gladiators finding a chicken dinner. However, not going to have the biggest impact on the tables. There is still so much to play for around that 5th place bubble, around the group stage qualification spots. Moving into the last game of the day. I think we're probably around 7 or 8 teams that could make this work, Blank.
I mean, happy for these guys, though. I mean, Frozen looked really excited about that. And that warms my heart. I think for the Gladiators, they've done their best. I think they know more than anyone that it hasn't been the greatest of tournaments for them so far, but they have improved throughout the weeks. It's just a case of, like you say, John, where is this Gladiators when we need them?
They have just been immaterial over these last few days, and they managed to get, sure, a chunk of points there, but it is not fun to be at the bottom. But when it comes to it, could have been different. Footballers Chaos there, I think they might have thrown away a golden opportunity for them to add a lot more points to their tally. Yeah. Potentially pushing in towards Tixie's location. Fighting off against Fireflux on those hills to the south of it, they might have had a better chance.
Yeah, honestly, I don't rate Footballers Chaos too highly, and I think they could have maybe had a better game from that one, but it's just a case of where I believe that there were better teams inside that lobby at that time to be able to make that one happen, John. So Footballers Chaos, sad that they can't get all the way across over towards that eastern side, but I think Gladiators did play that game pretty damn well, but I think that is also the Gladiator circle, John.
Definitely. That is a really, really solid shift up north, I think twice at the end there, where the Gladiators were able to keep it under control. 17 points. 17 points on the game, and Footballers Chaos up with 11. So again, a decent little chunk on up there for them. but is it going to be enough to see them in with a platform to make it further? IWNRX with 10 is big news on this match as well. They were jumping up today into those top spots. They continue that push. Getting double digits on any game is a success, and that is great news for them. 9 eliminations they were able to get, even though it was only 1 placement.
Yeah, I think for IWNRX, that's perfect. 10 points will see you happily up towards the top of the tables. Here's our second page, Power Esports with 3. And here is the collection of 2 points accrued of eliminations before falling out with 0 placement points, which was amusing to me. You've got your 2 points, now you can go away.
Yeah, you're done. That's your lot. It's like when you go to the lunchroom, they serve you your portion, and you're like, is that it? And they're like, yeah. Next. That's all you get. You don't get the full chicken dinner. You should get maybe half a drumstick if you're lucky. Someone's already been at it as well.
Yeah, interesting one. Very, very interesting one so far in terms of the performances from a lot of our teams. Yes, and again, a lot of teams are trying to push up towards that top 5. And teams are making it easier to make that happen, which I don't really understand myself, but it's working out. It is certainly working out for some of these squads. IWNRX, that slow, consistent play style is working. 4th place right now, 132 points. Besiktas in 2nd place. What is going on there? I don't understand that personally. But fair play to them. Fair play. They've worked hard for it.
This is pretty crazy stuff. Remember, with Power getting potentially, as long as they finish ahead of Twisted Minds, which for now is looking pretty likely, they will get the host country invite to PMWC, which means that survival stage spot goes down to 6th place, which right now is RCB, ahead of S2G and Team Spirit. Look how close that field is. In order to jump up, you're looking to push and clear like a 15, 20-point game, right? You need to outperform IWNRX, and you need to push further and further and further. And that is such a tall order. 106 for Footballers Chaos. They are in the window right now. They haven't opened the door quite yet, but they are still in with an outside chance. Same for Virtus Pro, same for Enigma Galaxy. Maybe. Gladiators, 100 points. DA, 100 points as well. I don't think the Gladiators have got the chops to get a 30-point or more game. But if that bubble doesn't move, it is very possible that the Gladiators get in for our last chance team.
Yeah, I think for some of our squads there, like in terms of the 115, 117, 119, I believe it was, for Team Spirit, S2G and RCB, to get into the survival stage. And then if you want to go one step further, like you said, John, you need to get a big chicken dinner to get ahead of IWNRX. What a crazy last game this was going to be, John.
Oh, yeah, we are absolutely on the edge of our seats, but we've got to take a breather. We'll take a break, but come back, please, because we need to decide our final 5 teams that are going to make it forwards to accompany Power over towards the PMWC, is the next tournament on the cards, assuming the Power finish ahead of Twisted Minds, but that's pretty likely. We'll see you guys in a few.
Hello, everyone. The all-new 2024 Pubg Mobile Super League event PMSL Pass will be available from May 31st to June 30th. The PMSL Pass has 20 levels and only takes 500 UC to unlock. Get a Dark Arts Gentleman set immediately after purchase. After unlocking the PMSL Pass, you can view the missions and complete them to get points. Raise your pass level to claim corresponding rewards. Plenty of rewards await you, including the Dark Arts Gentleman set, Dark Arts Gentleman glasses, Dark Legend Smoke Grenade, Dark Legend Avatar Frame, and the ultimate reward, Dark Legend UMP 45. To quickly raise your pass level, you can 1. Redeem points from Points Voucher redemption codes. You can start by using the redemption code 24PMSL Pass now. 2. Use UC to purchase levels directly. After reaching the max level, every additional level reached will grant 1 PMSL crate. Additionally, you can gift the PMSL Pass to friends who meet the conditions. Send your friends a small gift and complete to see who unlocks the ultimate reward first. That's all for this introduction to the 2024 Pubg Mobile Super League event. Unlock the PMSL Pass, put on the Dark Arts Gentleman set with friends, and collect amazing rewards.
Hi everyone, PUBG Mobile Metro Royale Chapter 20 is coming soon. Curious about what new content there is? Let's take a look. I Our focus for this update is on bettering your gaming experience, so we've added a series of improvements. First, we've added quick action functions. Starting now, you can tap to repair all items at once on the loadout page, and you can open multiple gift packs at once in your inventory. We've also improved the firearm status at the start of the match. During the preparation stage, firearms will be reloaded by default and will be set to full auto firing mode. These improvements all aim to save your time while improving efficiency. Additionally, you can now earn EXP from Metro Royale matches. In other words, playing Metro Royale will now contribute towards raising your player level. If you bring a companion into Metro Royale, they will also earn companion EXP. Chapter 20 also brings brand new honor rewards and collectibles. What's different this time is that after you get certain gold collectibles, they can be displayed in your personal space of the main lobby. You also have the chance to unlock home collectible decorations. Place them in your home to show them off to your friends. With the new version update come enemies who've already infiltrated Metro Royale's Arctic base and Misty Port. While you're out exploring, stay vigilant in these areas, as Striders are active there. Oh, and we've also added 2 new firearms in this update, the P90 Cobra and P90 Steel Front. Don't forget to try them out. That sums up all the new Metro Royale content. Chapter 20 is about to begin. Hop into PUBG Mobile Metro Royale and experience it for yourself. We wish you all successful evacuations and bountiful loot. Hi everyone, let's get acquainted with World of Wonder version 3.2. This version is loaded with surprises. Besides piloting cool mechas for exciting battles, there are brand new maps to experience. Let's check it out. First, there's a brand new themed map template. In World of Wonder, players can now play all kinds of creations built from a variety of scenery objects. Engage in thrilling battles aboard the Steel Ark. At the same time, get ready for the brand new Steel Arena map template. Here, players can pilot mechas and engage in battles. Give this new combat a shot. In addition, players can compete in shooting competitions with target dummies and have fun playing soccer. Head to World of Wonder to discover even more fun maps and gameplay. So, get in the game and try it out. Next, we've also made a few system improvements to World of Wonder. Players can now go to the player information page to check their World of Wonder play statistics and creation data. As for creation tabs, we've added a Friends tab. Now, you can find your friends' creations more easily and check out what creations they've been enjoying. Additionally, to better help you find the maps you like, you can search for them by creation ID, creator UID, creator name, creation name, and more. There are still more improvements for you to discover. We made some improvements to gameplay devices and interactions. For gameplay devices, we've improved and updated the PvE enemy spawn device, random action device, special vehicle device, and more. For example, the themed mode's mechas have been added to the special vehicle device. These include the Levitron, Strider, and Armament. What's more, we've also improved various interactions. Creators can now edit the orientation and scaling of items directly. In free view mode, objects can be moved, rotated, or resized by modifying their coordinates. Interactized objects can now be held and tossed by characters, and they can also be moved by hitting them. Discover more improvements that let you be as creative as you like. Finally, in World of Wonder editing mode, the team leader can edit the permissions of team members when group editing. That's a wrap for this introduction to some of the new World of Wonder content. We look forward to seeing all your brilliant creations in-game. For more new version updates, be sure to follow the official community. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. See you next time.
Almost 4 weeks of gameplay, and it all comes down to this one map. Erangel, of course, is where we will finish our sprint finals for the PMSL EMEA. My name is John Allen. With me will be Blank, and this is what all these teams have been working towards. It is their chance to qualify for the PMWC and their chance to lift the PMSL EMEA trophy as well. But we think we have a little bit of an inside track knowledge on just who that's going to be.
Yeah, I think we've got a good idea of who the first place winner is going to be at the end of this. I think it's going to take a big game from one team in particular to get above them. But we will have to wait and see, honestly, because I think Brute Force is fine. We're talking about Brute Force, by the way, in first place. It's going to be hard to dethrone them from that first place position and taking home that $55,000. The big prize right at the top there, alongside with a nice little signing of a ticket through to the PMWC. There they are on your screens at the moment. All very chilled out.
Our potential champions here, one game away from that title. If they can just put up 6-7 points, it's going to be nigh on unassailable. At that top spot, second place team Besiktas on 138 to their titanic performance of 160 points over these finals. Moneymaker's not too far behind on 136, not too far behind that. IWNRX, who until today looks to be a little bit down on their luck. But they're on 132 points in fourth place. Would be our final group stage qualifier for PMWC.
You see there, all of those points on your screen. So if there's a particular team that you are a fan of or that you're wanting to see head up, remember to memorize their point scoring now so you know exactly when they will have laddered. The big ones that we'll be looking out for this game is going to be over towards Team Spirit, S2G, and RCB. Obviously, there is a world where we knock Power out of the top 5, in which case sixth place will no longer be going through. So it's a difficult one, and we will keep tabs on that.
We're going to be trying our very best to make sure that we are tracking exactly what is going on here for this final map. Plane path over the north side should be pretty kind to a lot of people. Plane paths that go over the river in general do tend to be a little bit less conflicting than plane paths that appear on a lot of other areas of the map. But there's a lot of people dropping out around Georgia Pole. It's the early droppers that get the advantage here. The plane path starts out in the east, and so will the circle.
Yeah, it gives a lot of these teams ample time to loot up and then think about getting to a different spot inside the circle. Again, last chance saloon for both S2G and Team Spirit. Footballers Chaos could make it in. They have a big game. The circle does favour them this match. Virtus Pro, like I said, it's still open for them to make it in here, as it is for Enigma Galaxy.
A lot of moving parts needed, though. Like
Gladiators and DA, yeah. It does require teams above them to go down early, right? I think the go bell happens as soon as Power or RCB leave the game early on. Power or RCB leave the game early, then we can start crying and shouting to the heavens about what's about to happen next.
It is just so difficult. How on earth are these teams going to be coping with this? This is so much pressure. We talk a lot in this game about consistency, about playing, the expected values, playing for an averagely better result, right? Like on average, when you make this play, is it good? The answer hopefully is yes whenever you make a play, but it doesn't matter here. It's not on average is it going to be good. It's is it going to work right now for the points that we need to survive?
Yeah, it's such a weird one. Because we are in the final game, guys. And we are in a position where DA can go to the PMWC in 13th place. Not unlikely either. Not unlikely.
Well, no, I'd say it's pretty unlikely. But
not really. RCB goes out, 20-point game, you're in.
That also relies on S2G, Team Spirit, Footballers Chaos, VP, Enigma Galaxy, Gladiators, all also not having strong games as well.
Well, imagine if they're getting 20 points, then no one else is.
That is true.
Yeah.
But they get 20 points. RCB gets 9. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. All it takes is RCB to go out early, and then you have a chance.
S2G to get 9. I know I'm agreeing it's possible. But I think to say that I think it is still unlikely. I would go that far. I think I'll go one step further than you.
Really?
Yeah, definitely unlikely that DA make it. Especially given the way they've been playing. I think that when you factor that in, it seems like it's not the DA of old.
Wow, they're dead now, so.
Yeah, dead.
Thanks for ruining my little storyline.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You suck.
Sorry, I didn't mean it.
I'm only joking. It's just like, I don't know. It just feels weird to me that we are in a situation where, because before we've had these kind of finals, this is not what I would go for personally, but all right.
Okay. They could still do it, Blank.
Well, I think effectively what's going on here is that Virtus Pro and DA are both just destroying one another's chances as best as possible.
We're not going to qualify? You mean you're not going to qualify?
You're also not going to qualify. Blank's also totally wrong on the broadcast, so it is unlikely we're both going to qualify. Yeah. So they are effectively making it much more about 9 through 6 now. Thanks, guys. That was really cool of you.
But the gladiators, they
could still make it. Yeah, I just find it hilarious how we set up this storyline of all the way down to 11th place. There is somewhat of a chance for them to get in. And over on that final game, that will still be a possibility. Only for DA and Virtus Pro to just have fisticuffs against one another.
The scrapping at the start of the match. Over towards Kameshki and Salva side.
They're both losing tremendous amount of players. It's in a 1v1 now.
Corker might be bringing it into a 2v1. Coldex into the car. Oh, he's getting away.
You're going to raise your teammate? I'm going to raise my teammate. All right, DA's done. And equally so is Virtus Pro. Like, with 2 players, they just cannot get a chunky enough game.
Yeah.
Luckily, that does put Team Spirit now in a much easier game ahead of them, as well as S2G, right?
I mean, yeah, same for RCB as well, though, right? Because they're looking to defend and put on a good game. This circle, again, they've got pretty central. The compound, I believe, out to the east side of Yas Field is going to go up in value. I believe that RCB are pretty close by to maybe potentially take control of that one. Should they opt to go for it. I think it is currently Football is Chaos who have taken that Heaven compound all the way out to the east near mansion.
Yeah, they've got a bit of a split going on. I only say Team Spirit because those were the teams directly competing against them underneath. But you're right, RCB could have a good game and then it's all over. It's absolutely over at that point. That does rely on RCB having a good game. And there are angles. Although we've actually seen some pretty good ones during the finals, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. We'll see. I think RCB has the chops on them. Brute Force coming in to finish off. This is so mean. This is really mean. This is what happens when you give a team a bunch of money and they don't have to worry anymore. They go and have fun.
I mean, they are really on the chase from Alloy here. Virtus Pro. This is really bad news. He's out. He's run down. He got 2 shots out. 2 shots, and actually at least one of them landed onto Neos there, so credit to him, but unfortunately, he's stuffed.
First vehicle elimination from Pre-Bot. The rest of the team
they want the
chasing down Corker.
They're poking the horn. Oh, yes. Let's go, Brute Force. I love it. Whoa! 6 slide from Judo.
He actually hit a shot. Yeah, he actually hit the shot there. That was kind of like a John Wick moment coming through from Brute Force. Next circle about to pop. I mean, this feels very unfinals-like, but again, this is a team that sort of knows that they're unassailable at this point in time.
It is tough, and when you add on some eliminations that they're hunting down, that is such a mean shift on the circle. Blank, what has just happened? These teams are going to be crying But Team Spirit, a fast move up the east. This could be their only chance to have a good game here. But they're going to crash into brute force.
Oh, Kitsune gets himself up towards that north side immediately. And you're right, they might just crash into brute force here. Who are coming down fairly quickly towards that position. Oh, this is so spicy. Kitsune, the front man, the rest of the team not quite with him just yet.
That hill out to the east side, a really powerful position to hold. There's a compound out on that peninsula. Who's going to get there first? RCB trying to careen on in. There's already a lot of occupation in this area, and S2G sitting their way. IWNRX spot RCB, and this could be big. RCB are losing players. Take it fast. This is the bubble team. They might just be drawn short here. They've lost 2 players out in the open.
Thank you very much, RCB, for keeping my dreams alive. I'm sorry about your dreams, though, as you drop into 7th place with 2 players. S2G, they win the tiebreaker here. 1 elimination found. But IWNRX find Racy. They don't confirm him just yet, though. Team Spirit do get that eastern compound.
They want to defend that 4th place as well on IWNRX. Remember, if Team Spirit have a big game, they could jump up. Moneymakers in the firing line now. Moneymakers on a mad dash from the southwest, and Moneymakers with it all to do. Currently, IWNRX with a much more survivable position.
Yeah, I mean, out towards this western side, though, eventually they're going to get crunched. That is the only difficulty, but they do have some buildings to work with, the IWNRX, but they are so heavily surrounded right now by teams in all directions. It's probably stage 3, which is going to be the difficult one. He is harassing over towards Footballist Chaos. Currently still have 4 players up, though, for that team. Oof. What a finals this has been. And what a final game this will be.
Oh my god, Moneymaker's Havlik taken to the skies, up onto the roof. He hops out and he's above power now. He's got cover with the vehicle on that roof line as well. And Icy's in the ground floor. 1 up, 1 down. And they are spinning all around, but can't they able to hold the line for power against Moneymakers? This is all to play for, because power could drop out as well. Moneymakers defending their spot in second. Bishke is low. And Alhaji with nades over finds Icy. What a big burst from a big boy of the scene. Alhaji taking names. Easy rolls up to give him the backup he needs. Koa holding first on the ground floor. DPS in hand. Oh, the SK-12 instead. But it's Koa with the DPS. He's burning away. Low HP. Can they slide a nade in? Because Think the Galaxy are here to play as well. They're on the outskirts. Maybe they look for a third party.
They both fly out around the side. Nades from Easy explodes. There's a player at the window right now. He gets through. Easy's still going. This is a hell of a performance from Easy. Switching guns all over the place. Manages to get the knock, but will not be long for this world where Bishke gets involved. 2 players now for the Moneymakers. 4 eliminations, but likely not to go too much further than this. They're right on that southwest edge. Team Spirit still looking over towards brute force, staring down into the eyes of the beast on that eastern side.
That is a really rough position for brute force as well, on the north edge of that cliff face. With Judo already still out even further to the north. Team Spirit with a decent hold on that eastern side. The difficulty of this position, Blank, is that the high ground that currently is occupied by the majority of Team Spirit can only really be held fully if they have control of the compound further out to the east. With Kitsune in there, they do have that, but that's only a solo.
And they have to hold him here for now. They were really hoping on an eastern shift on the circle. If they get the east shift on the circle, they're suddenly in a position where it's very easy to win out this game. But the circle does squeeze back inwards towards the west, which gives opportunities for S2G and IWNRX to continue their parade. And S2G just secure another elimination, putting them to 2. Now 4 points ahead, John, which can feel like an eternity at this stage of the game.
Virtus Pro were eliminated. Their run is over. 4 points on the game. We expected it. Besiktas maybe taking a tumble. Ooh, this could be dangerous as well. Remember, Besiktas right now 3rd place. They've got 0 eliminations, but they might be able to find a point over towards 3D Max. What? Moneymakers nade themselves. They completely unforced error there. Not entirely sure what's going on. Snowex maybe getting rezzed here as in fly Besiktas through the smoke. Victor's taking a lot of damage. They roll up, they get that knock. Besiktas want more points to be able to secure themselves against the Moneymakers Ascension. Up into that 2nd place, there are some decent cash prize jumps as well. And they want to push up. Poser with the challenge around the side. And there's the last of the 3D Max players to go down. They are in last. All the way. And there's a disappointment. I did not expect 3D Max to be in last place here, but the finals have not gone their way.
I mean, to be honest with you, 92 points. They are currently only just over 20 points shy of 8th place. I think everyone has done incredibly well in this finals, honestly. The more I think about it, everyone has had a really good run. It's just so close. And a 16th place team just doesn't feel like a 16th place team. I do think that you're right in the sense of they have made quite a few mistakes here in this finals, but not too many. But it's more than everyone else. And everyone else is just making minimal mistakes at that. It is very, very difficult to get high in the lobby.
Coming out, it's out to the east blank. This gives Team Spirit that opening out to the east. It's a little bit further north than they'd like, but they'll take it. S2G as well. Slap, bang, in the middle on a small set of buildings. Not much to play around, but again, you will take it.
That is the crash location for a lot of teams on towards S2G's compound. Besiktas up to 1 elim so far, currently fighting out versus Fireflux, who have rocked up over towards their spot right now. But it's IWNRX who is just taking names from across the map right now, John.
They are generating points like there's no tomorrow because blank there isn't. And they have managed to find themselves in with a little bit more security towards the top 4 than most. Moneymakers trying to go in, but Football is Chaos scythe through them immediately with the spray down. And the Moneymakers are out. That is the first team to drop out in our top spots. 140 now is a margin that if you can jump over, it's likely that you're going to be in. Moneymakers now have to just hold their breath and wait. It's unlikely that enough teams jump over them to see them out, but it's still possible. If Besiktas get more, if IWNRX get more, Gladiators just rolling it down. Looking pretty swift to catch, but that north-southwest side looking tough.
This is typically what happens in the final game of the match as well, which is so difficult to deal with for a lot of teams, is the fact that so many squads realize that we need elimination points and we need them now to ladder up, is that a huge amount of players die early. Like at stage 4 for most of our matches for our angle, we have 14 teams still alive and plus 50 players. And it really hurts for so many squads because the more players that get removed from the lobby, the less you have chance to ladder up later on, John, in terms of eliminations and getting those points. So you have to rely over towards the placement points, and sometimes they just aren't enough, John.
Okay, for Fireflux versus Matic for Gladiators, and he wins out the DBS trade. The UMP not quite getting enough damage done. It's just frozen now for Gladiators. It once more is towards the bottom of these tables. Valiant efforts, and the Gladiators did have a small glint in their eye today. They've had a few good games, but it takes more than that to make a championship team, and the Gladiators go down. Not quite as illustrious as maybe once we thought. They'll need to put this back together. In comes the crash. Nick Galaxy up towards Team Spirit. Team Spirit need to hold this off, but they don't have the power on the forward position to be able to do so. Nomi retreats. He's giving ground. The rest of Team Spirit, are they going to come in for the backup? He's still going to go for the nades. He's still going to go for the suppression. Nick Galaxy in a little bit of a divot there. A good nade, but it's just not going to hit. A little bit late onto the vehicles. Perfectly placed, but they've already scattered.
In the moment, though, they have full oversight towards this position. They kind of have to call him for backup. Molotov up front there, prevent them from moving too far forward. I sort of need Naomi over in this position right now, John, to send over the big nades into this position. But Nick Galaxy so far have dodged a lot of these difficult nades over the top by pushing towards that ridge side, which I don't think Team Spirit expected.
Naomi in the grass, Team Spirit allowing Nick Galaxy to take the most powerful position now on the south side. Team Spirit have to push this, I think. I don't think they've got another choice. You leave that compound, you move Nomi and Kitsune back up towards this. You find a nade, you find something. And I think Nick Galaxy are mounting up for this fight too. IWNRX sending in the meantime. They're getting cut apart. They're getting torn to pieces. Football is Chaos taking them down. But just going down in the meantime. This is teams in the top 4 going low.
IWNRX taking massive casualties. Fireflux down to 2 players. Regnum Kaya still at 2, but living, John, at the moment, which is so difficult right now for S2G and Team Spirit. But S2G has put up points. Nade's going over the top towards Nomi. He takes a hit. They know roughly where he is.
The fight for PMGC is now for Team Spirit. They've disappointed today so far. But now is the hour. Kitsune still holding back. The nade tags Lufa, but not much more than that. Nobody else is scrapping out in this area. Brute Force yet to make their move. Nades continue to fly on in. And Enigma Galaxy is what stand in the way for Team Spirit and their chance. Lufa low. A lot of damage done here. They're sending these buggies out. You've got to wonder how many more nades they've got, because it is still 3v4 in this location. Molotov forcing them up onto the ridge line. Pair that with a nade up onto this ridge. You might have a winner, but it doesn't look like they've got too much more in the back pocket. Naomi has got one, though. He's pulled it out.
They've at least softened up Enigma Galaxy by taking down that HP. Those stims have worked on. Last nade goes in, doesn't do too much. Twisted Minds, like you say, on the southwest side. Sidus goes down for Neos.
RCB on that chase as well, remember, but they're getting picked apart. S2G and Team Spirit now, the teams I'm looking at for the chase. S2G, 4 limbs. A higher possibility that they make it in. But if Team Spirit can make it through, can they transition? Twisted Minds in. Enigma Galaxy now with suffering force on both sides. Team Spirit can try and third party. They need all the points they can get. Did he manage to pick that one up? That was a spray over to Lufa. There was a knock coming on through. Twisted Minds taking knocks as well. Lord trying to hold off the off angle, and nobody from Team Spirit is down just yet. More points being added, but they've only accrued 1. There's 2 down in front of them. If Ralph goes down as well, they might be able to pick up more. The off angle, they're taking on both of these teams, and they need to do it now. They need to come up big. Nomi, a potential MVP candidate, finds Never Alone. Dami and Yusuf lining up as well, and he's able to find the flush. Dami cooking a nade, wants to put it over to Naomi. This is dangerous, but there's back up from Naomi. Beautiful 1-2 punch, and they sweep on down. Enigma Galaxy floundering beneath Team Spirit. This is their resurgence chance, but they've still got such a way to go. Yusuf under pressure as nades pour in. The Molotovs are still in the back pocket. He steps out from the nade. Not enough damage. Naomi's there on the back line. Naomi is going to go down, but he doesn't even suffer it. Naomi and Naomi, a powerhouse for Team Spirits. Keep them alive.
Up to 5 elims now. A really, really good chance now for Team Spirit on this side of the map. Prepod does move up in the meantime as Kitsune left that position, and Team Spirit head back over to Enigma Galaxy to finish this fight off. Twisted Minds might not have made it all the way to the top. What they certainly have done here is they've allowed Team Spirit to potentially get in. Lord down to low HP, but it's only 1 knock. The rest of the team's coming in very quickly, and they will finish it. 7 eliminations now for Team Spirit.
Prepod for Brute Force, he's moved up. Naomi is knocked. Are they aware of this? He's been quiet so far. He's been moving on foot. He's crawling on in. Could be a potential dangerous turn of events for them. 7 eliminations now. IWNRX as well. Getting taken out. That is everybody ahead. The runway is cleared, blank, and Team Spirit just need to fly.
6th place at the moment. S2G still in the game with 4 eliminations. Right now, Team Spirit is just ahead. Just ahead. And S2G likely on this next circle will be pulled out. Team Spirit looking for more eliminations. They take one hell of a fight down towards that south side versus Twisted Minds and Enigma Galaxy. Come out victorious with the majority of the points on side for themselves.
At the
What
moment,
a
Team
wild
Spirit
way to finish this.
At the moment, Team Spirit are in that last chance position. In order to ladder up, it is 140 points is the mark, blank. Currently, as it stands, Team Spirit would need 25 points on the game to draw level. I haven't checked the tiebreakers yet. They will start at the game on 115. You can see they're in that 6th place on 122 right now, so they need 18 more points. That would be a big game necessary. They've got 7 eliminations. In order to get a 25-point game, you need 15 total. They want 16 to be free and clear, and the chicken dinner.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, John. It's not going to be easy. The only team that's really going to be challenging them too much here is S2G, but they will have got a very nice reset on the stims, on the nades, coming through from both Enigma Galaxy and Twisted Minds as they poured on in. Repod.
What a hold on the south for Team Spirit.
Yeah, this is a nice high ground position right now for Brute Force, and it is kind of holding Team Spirit out. Brute Force still with 4 players. Probably the biggest challenge here at the moment for Team Spirit. Yeah, 8 more limbs to draw even. Now they have 2 chicken dinners, I believe, so far for Team Spirit. And they would have to win the game as well, so I think they would win the tiebreaker regardless. So 8 eliminations.
Right. There's only 11 players left in the lobby.
This is just to go straight to the group stage, by the way.
To get to the group stages directly. They just want S2G to go down first, but if they can pick up Footballer's Chaos at the start, this is great. Wild playing in the shadow of Brute Force right now.
Yeah, Football is Chaos. You know, adding 2 points to their tally for S2G, because they've only got 4 eliminations so far. 2 points to the tally would be nice. And again, as S2G has to leave this compound, they're likely to get shot out by the high ground angles coming through from Brute Force. But that circle somewhat keeps them in.
Oh no. That's so dastardly, but Team Spirit, we've said they've been given opportunities and they've had to prove themselves. Now they've had that opportunity taken away. And it is time. There is no choice. There is no try. There is only do.
I like this, though, from them. They are constantly sending shots over towards S2G. I think the circle just about cuts them out of their compound. They have to leave slightly. But puts them in a weird scenario where they're down the hill at the moment, John. So they're certainly not safe. Imagine the finals having the #1 team in it and then 2 squads desperately battling out just to survive, John.
RCB could potentially take a chunk out of Brute Force, but no, 2 players commit to it. That might give Team Spirit a little bit more to do. They go in. They're going for a duo push. Nomi sails straight out into the blue. 1 is down. Are they going to sacrifice a player for it? Falcon is strafing. He isn't going to be knocked. He's on the inside of the door frame there to control him. He takes another chunk out of Team Spirit, but they're still alive. 9 eliminations now. Nomi tagging with a tiny amount of HP. Pick him up. He needs the res right now or never. He's picking away, but it's pre-pod to sail in. They are sending shots desperately back his way, and they take him down. It's S2G to play savior potentially to the pre-pod off angle.
No way. Imagine being S2G and saving the one team that could knock you out. Oh, they just don't know. They don't know, John.
It's Brute Force. 3 players from Team Spirit and all 4 of S2G. But look at the ridge that Team Spirit have to cross. 9 eliminations is not enough right now to see them up. They need S2G to go down. In fact, bringing that vehicle back on side, and S2G are just surviving. They know what they're about here.
Remember, S2G, the good thing for Team Spirit is if they can lay low, when S2G has to leave this compound, Brute Force is absolutely going to annihilate them, but they are also looking over towards Team Spirit. They need to go out later. CEO later, already down. Goodness me, John.
Cal C getting strafed across by Chudo, but not eating bullets there. Everybody's right on the edge. This goes to Team Spirit with a circle. Look how close it is to them, but can they have any cover there? S2G going to have to leave. With 9 eliminations, they need 6 more to draw level. They need everything in this lobby. They need it all, and they need it now. Effect steps up against Chudo, but is knocked in response.
They need basically, they could lose one of these eliminations to another team. They could lose 1, but that's it. See you later goes down. Nice shot from Naomi. Has to look back over towards the top side. We'll step up.
Forwards.
Taking more damage.
Oh no, Brute Force are forwards now. They've got a position. Naomi spotted. That's from Brute Force. I don't think you get this res. He's just getting blinked away there. Falls back behind the vehicle. I mean, it may be, but the zone is coming. And Brute Force have already moved forwards. S2G, if they go down here, Team Spirit might have secured their spot. In fact, they would have done into that 6th place.
Yeah, this is smart. This is smart, though, because they go behind the vehicle. They know they just need to live until the circle pushes Brute Force off their high ground. S2G taking shots over towards them. Effect has to stand up, but he's constantly taking damage here, John.
They are just being brutalized on this, crossing Kelsey down, and S2G desperately taking shots out towards Team Spirit to stay alive. Crazy low. Chudo may have this one stolen away from him, and Kitsune's down as well. It is desperation right now in S2G. Are they going to rise to the occasion? CEO later, taken down as the back lines. Nobody is safe here. Brute force on two, but they move forwards. Crazy trying to cross, and Effect is chiming in as well. Team Spirit desperately fending off against S2G as one goes down and Chudo steals a second. They can't make it to group stages, but they have a last chance.
That's it.
It's Team Spirit to make it all the way. Brute Force will be able to take this top spot. No one will be able to stand there. But Team Spirit, with the eliminations that they've got, with the run that they've made, might have one more shot at glory over in the PMWC. They're aware, they're breaking out, and Naomi wants to put the icing on the cake. He steps out for Chudo, Freezer behind the rock, and Team Spirit with 10. They want more. Can they find it? Effects down, Kitsune and Naomi. Moving across the open plains.
It's Freezer, the young upstart, coming through from Brute Force. He started with the team, and now he's going to finish for the team here in the final match of the PMSL EMEA.
Naomi leading out. Popping the shots. They have the closer side of the circle. Freezer at the disadvantage. One smoke, two flashes, two first aids, a nade up. And a ragtag group of Team Spirit put their mark on this match. Freezer breaks out to the left. Last nade for Kitsune. Sent in as a volley, they clear it. Oh, Freezer. Oh, Freezer, please. No, not like this. He steps out and gets Naomi. Kitsune can't do it, but it's all up to the big man himself. He's behind the rocket. He can't do it. Freezer clears a 1v2. Brute Force put yet another chicken dinner on the tables. Team Spirit have done enough, but I am so excited for Brute Force to see what they're going to bring our champions. A chicken dinner, a championship team. What a finals this team has put up for themselves.
Makes life easy for us as well. We get to celebrate the chicken dinner and the champions at the same time. Hugs all around. Neos was desperately trying to calm the nerves today and calm the excitement towards the end of the day too. What an awesome set of games it's been from Brute Force throughout this finals. The comeback kids in action. Can never count these guys out. And they will now sign their ticket over to EWC.
Get those stamps down. Get those signatures on. You're off to PMWC. What a strong performance. And right at the end there, Team Spirit making their mark as well. But right now, it's all about Brute Force. Pre-pod. Neo, Freezer, and of course Chudo for Brute Force. A magnificent roster. The comeback kids.
Doing us proud here, John. Really nicely done. I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy for them because they have been down on that luck before. I've known these players for quite a while as well in terms of their other tournaments. They've been constantly on the up and up. Right, always the young upstarts, never quite hitting the highest of strides. They bring Freezer in to join their crew, and he ends up being one of the most effective players throughout this entire tournament.
Shout out to their bench, Samo as well, giving them credit. And it is, of course, a team effort from everybody over at Brute Force to have made this happen. I think they might just be heading over to the trophy. Let's get that bad boy in the air.
$55,000 taken away for Brute Force, John.
And they give it to the rookie. PMSL, EMEA. Your champions, your titans. Brute Force.
It's been one hell of a tournament, John, so far.
I've definitely enjoyed every step of the way, but it was so incredibly tight towards the end. I'm so happy for these guys, though, again. I think throughout the entirety of the finals, they have been very, very consistently destructive in terms of performance-wise, which is so nice.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's been a crazy game. That last match, though, imagine S2G. Oh, and just thinking back on it makes me feel sick. Where S2G took down Prepod from Brute Force, who was about to destroy Team Spirit, and that would have probably secured S2G's position over towards that survival stage. But instead, they help them. You know, they give them a helping hand. They just push them up the stairs. There you go. Off the survival stage. Better you than me. I don't want that kind of stress behind me on S2G.
I mean, to be honest, I think I would have been more disappointed if Team Spirit didn't make it to BMWC than if S2G didn't make it, which is the reality that we see ourselves in. I think that this roster should have been a lot higher up these tables. They should have been one of our four, but in the end, they didn't deserve it. They didn't perform in the finals. They did just about manage to squeak in, and it all came down to that early rotation up the east side, right? They read it. They knew immediately they had to take that hillside. Kitsune protected that compound, and they were able to hold on to it. What a fight from Team Spirit against Nigga Galaxy and Twisted Minds as well.
Yeah, it's honestly it's the Kitsune adjustment in action, right? You know, it's the classic rotational chiropractor, and he will adjust your rotations upon necessary, because they did have like a little bit of a nice little split over towards that northeast side, which gave them an immediate response time over towards that position, and I think that definitely helps them out. Again, they get thrown a bone at the end there with the circle coming back down towards them, but again, that takes really good knowledge of the terrain that they're in, where they're like, we just need to sit behind the car and live for the next 30 seconds, because they have to come off that high ground at some point and we'll survive. Let's take a look at that overall and find out exactly how things panned out here for us in the PMSL EMEA. You can see these are all the teams that did not make it from our second page. We have to say goodbye to all of them. It will only be, I think, one European team heading through to the EWC, which is sad. Virtus Pro, Gladiators 3D Max, not doing so great. Twisted Minds, although down in 15th place, big round of applause to them. I think they are the team that improved the most throughout this entire tournament.
And obviously, out of the two of them, they did not finish higher than Power, which means Power will get that direct invite for the host country of PMWC as well. We're shifting up to the top spot, and there it is. S2G, 3 points shy. But look at that, top spot champions. It will be Brute Force with 55k, 183 points. Outperforming the 10-point average, Blank. That is exactly what a dominating team should be able to do.
Yeah.
IWNRX, Besiktas Esports Black, Moneymakers joining them over at PMWC. And there is one last chance for Team Spirit.
Power squeezed out as well on that final game, down to 127. They were really giving it their all with Team Spirit and S2G. They knew how much that game meant to them. But yeah, for the boys over on Moneymakers, Brute Force, IWNRX, and Besiktas all will be qualifying straight through the group stage. Team Spirit heading over to that survival stage to see if they can eke it out again. Kitsune once again in that awkward position of on the precipice of success, and Power